Good morning, I'm Frank Powers, and this is Lifestyle Tucson, the program where I speak to our neighbors, the people behind the scenes of our amazing organizations, small businesses, and nonprofits. Our friends are informing you how they serve our community, and they are here to give you updates on future projects. Let's make some old friends today. Let's embark on a magical journey down the yellow brick road with an enchanting production of The Wizard of Oz. Join a Kansas farm girl as she ventures over the rainbow, unraveling the extraordinary power of home. This timeless tale is not just a story, it's a heartwarming adventure that promises to bring a nostalgic smile to audiences of all ages. Rediscover the wonder of your childhood as you introduce your family to the fantastical world of The Wizard of Oz. From the iconic ruby slippers to the whimsical characters and her little dog too, this enchanting experience is a journey into the heart of imagination. So click your heels together and say there's no place like Lifestyle Tucson, because today I am joined by the heart of Saguaro City Music Theater, managing director as well as choreographer, Deena Digicento. Deena, welcome back to Lifestyle Tucson.
Thank you, Frank. It's always a pleasure to be on the show.
I'm happy that you're here. We've also got someone who's at home already on a microphone. It's Olive. She's playing Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. Olive, welcome to Lifestyle Tucson.
Thank you for having me.
I'm very excited. Say that louder again. People got to know you're here.
Thank you for having me.
There we go. That's the spirit. All right. And I've got someone with enough courage to be here. He's Raphael, and he's the cowardly lion of The Wizard of Oz. Raphael, it's good to see you.
I'm very excited to be here as well. Thank you.
Yes. Welcome to Lifestyle Tucson. And yes, it's me, your BFF, your best Frank forever, Frank Powers. If I only had a brain, I'd know that Saguaro City Music Theater is putting on one of the biggest events they've done all year, The Wizard of Oz, from December 20th through January 5th. So it's a big, big deal to get involved with Saguaro City Music Theater, and really a good time to do it. I love this is happening so late in the month, closer to the holidays and through the new year. So that's really exciting. Tell me a little bit about The Wizard of Oz and what you're planning, Deena. I want to know a little bit of the details, why The Wizard of Oz and what you're looking forward to most.
So we chose The Wizard of Oz for this slot around the holidays because it is a nostalgic show. Many of us have seen the movie many, many times. And for the younger ones, we thought it could be a nice time for parents and grandparents to possibly introduce their little ones to the show around this time of year, a time when, there's no place like home to celebrate the holidays, and home is looks different for everybody, but whatever that may be, it's a beautiful time to kind of celebrate those we love and those who mean the most to us.
It absolutely is. I think so. I almost watched it the other day to prepare for this interview. I did, because I was watching some fun documentaries about Gene Wilder and Willy Wonka. And I always watch that every year. And we had Willy Wonka was the best show that I think I had with you guys on here.
So fun.
It was one of my favorite episodes of Lifestyle Tucson, was interviewing Saguaro City Music Theater about Willy Wonka. And The Wizard of Oz has a lot of that same feel, that big, bright, colorful vibe. When they talked about Willy Wonka, it's that big reveal of the chocolate factory that feels just like when Dorothy steps out of her cabin into the land of Oz. So let me ask you guys, Olive, what's your experience with The Wizard of Oz?
I've watched Wizard of Oz for my whole life. I've just had this huge obsession with it. When I was 5 years old, I already had red slippers, and now I get to wear them again. I'm just so excited to do it all over again.
How exciting. And being Dorothy, that's a
I
big
know.
deal.
Oh, yes, I'm so happy. Yes.
So what is the audition like?
It was a great audition process. I practiced Somewhere on the Rainbow. I just really wanted to nail it, and with the script sound very earnest and just this innocent girl who's just trying to find her way through the Emerald City in Kansas.
Earnest is probably the exact way to describe, because that's exactly right. Dorothy Gale, very earnest character, right? She's not afraid. She's going down the yellow brick road, making friends, and really dealing with all the obstacles along the way, and even getting mad at those trees throwing apples.
No.
The scariest thing I think I ever saw as a child, those trees. Let me ask you now, Raphael, what's your experience with The Wizard of Oz?
So I grew up pretty close to my sister, and my sister was really into musicals and old musical movies. And so that was a movie that my sister and I watched when I was around 6 or 7, and she was nearing her 20s. We watched Wizard of Oz. We watched that on repeat. I really just identified with the characters and their comedic presence and their performer presence. So it resonates with me in that.
I agree, because it's such a fun movie. It's a good magical movie. It's about making friends to a degree. It's about believing in yourself, which is another great message of it. It's about home. And just the colorful characters. There's a lot of fun, very unique, timeless characters that you get to play. A being the Cowardly Lion, being Dorothy Gale. That's very exciting. My first play was The Wizard of Oz. It's true. That's how I came out of my shell when I was in 8th grade, was trying out for the play. I tried out for the Cowardly Lion. I did not get the part, but I got to be Uncle Henry and I got to be an Emerald City worker. So it was my first foray into theater, and I got to design all the sets because I'm an art guy. And really, this is what I talk about with Saguaro City Music Theater, is how much you're inspiring these kids to be a part of it, to try something new, and to make friends, because when you join a big fun group putting on a show together, it's my favorite thing. So I love it, and I love The Wizard of Oz. It's very important to me growing up. So I love that you're all getting to experience this great magical musical and this amazing thing that you're going to be a part of when you put on this show. How far are you into rehearsals and the choreography? You were saying you were doing some of the choreography coming straight from the dance studio.
I did. I came right from the dance studio today working on the Munchkinland scene, which is quite a large one. We have, I think, 21 Munchkins all together.
Wow.
And yes, it's just so fun to kind of start to, envision these amazing young performers kind of embodying these characters of the mayor and the coroner and the barrister and the Lullaby League and stuff like that. So we have a total of about a month or so of rehearsals before a big opening.
That's shocking to me, because I actually thought you would rehearse for like longer than that. Really?
Yeah, it's sort of condensed. And, I think probably some people like it and some people think it's a little intense, because we rehearse 6 days a week.
Wow.
For those 4 weeks. So it's a lot. Most of us are coming, after work to rehearse in the evenings, or the young performers will be coming from school. So it's a pretty rigorous schedule for about 4 weeks straight. And that one day off is very, very important for everybody to kind of recharge the batteries and stuff like that. But, it allows us to kind of really concentrate all our energy on getting the show together, all of our creative team members kind of putting our heads together to come up with all the wonderful solutions that we need for the magic that happens in the show. And then we kind of just load into the theater and start doing all the technical stuff about a week before we open. So we have about 1 week in the theater too.
Wow, that's incredible. And you're going to train a dog in this time too. Who's playing Toto?
So we have a very adorable little dog named Sadie, who is currently in training.
That's incredible, because I was making a joke assuming it's a stuffed animal.
Well,
you're going to have a real dog.
We have a real dog that will be playing Toto in Kansas.
Brilliant.
So at the beginning of the show and the end of the show. And then we also have, we are planning to have a puppet version of Toto that kind of appears in Oz.
Even better.
So we kind of have, when the world switches over from this gray, sort of washed out Kansas farm into the colorful world of Munchkinland, we'll have a new version of Toto to join us.
That is brilliant, and it's a puppet. Now I'm all in. Yes. How exciting. Just also to piggyback on just asking you, Deena, about some of this, the $1 Million Quartet just wrapped up. I always like to get a little bit of how did that go? What was your favorite moment from doing the $1 Million Quartet, which you just wrapped up?
I loved that production. It was so special for us, mainly because it was the first show that we did really that had our audiences. It literally had our audiences stand up dancing in the aisles towards the end of the show, because we had live musicians on stage. They just brought so much energy and excitement and real talent to the theater. One of my favorite parts of the show is actually our local superstar, Crystal Stark, who had 2 songs in the show, and she would sing a song called Fever that you might know. And that was one of my favorite moments of the show, because she's such a vocal acrobatic kind of person, and so you never really knew what you were going to hear on any given night. And I just loved to sit out in the audience and listen to see what was going to happen.
That's incredible. Yeah, we had Crystal Stark on here on Lifestyle Tucson. You can listen back to the $1 Million Quartet episode anytime on demand, and I encourage you to do it, because my conversations with Saguaro City Music Theater are the absolute best. So again, let's just touch base that this is going to be at the Berger Performing Arts Center over at 1200 West Speedway from December 20th through January 5th.
The website is saguarocity.org.
You can also get a discount by going to Bookman's. Just zip on down there. Maybe go buy yourself a copy of The Wizard of Oz, or maybe one of the other many volumes of it, because we go to Oz a lot in the books, but this famous movie really stands the test of time, as we know. And we got a little bit of your experience, Olive, but now let's meet Olive. Olive from South Point Catholic High School freshman, who recently appeared as Fate in Hadestown, the teen edition. Is that how I pronounce that?
Yes.
Okay, good. Olive enjoys working out, playing piano and guitar, and honing her skills at Kids Unlimited Performance Studio. Well, tell me about some of your musical background there, Olive. That's exciting.
Well, actually, we just finished Hadestown, and this week we're going to festival because we just won state, and I'm crossing fingers we get to go to nationals in Indiana. But yeah, I've been working with Kids Unlimited for about 4.5 years, and I've learned so much there, like performing, dancing, singing. It's such a great community, but now I'm just so excited to be a part of Saguaro City.
That's wild. If you had any advice to kids, because remember what I was saying a moment ago, this is what really got me out of my shell, but I really got a lot out of joining the cast of The Wizard of Oz. So what advice would you have to any kids out there that might want to come out of their shell and figure out how they get into performing, whether it's joining Saguaro City or joining any of their groups, or just from your experience of doing it?
Okay. Like you said, coming out of your shell, I think anyone, like whatever you're doing, activities whatsoever, I think you should try just once in your life be in a musical. I think it will change your perspective on things like you see, but it will make you come out of your shell, maybe like change your perspective on things. And it's just such a great experience to be in a musical. I've had so much fun doing every single musical. Like, it's such a great experience.
Yeah, I mean, fun's really the point. That's
Yes.
a really big point. Raphael, let me ask you the same question. Like, what have you gotten out of this? Being a little older statesman here, you've been doing this for a while. Let's read about Raphael, the Mountain View High School alum, class of 2014. Congratulations on your 10th reunion. It's coming up if it hasn't happened already. He was featured in such productions as In the Heights, Rent, Bright Star, and Rock of Ages, and you're an amateur musician and arts educator. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you play?
So I play a little bit of piano. I mainly sing, so that's a lot of my time with the younger kids that I've worked with. The nonprofit Stories That Soar is like helping them create music or helping them, sing whatever song they want to sing while they're doing this little devised theater program. Singing is primarily my thing as far as music comes, but I do a little bit of composition as well.
Any advice to kids that want to get involved in this? How did you get involved when you were doing it? Again, you had your older sister maybe had you interested the whole time, but what made you finally get involved with performing? When did you start?
If I could go off on like a slight story.
Please do.
In high school, I had always taken weightlifting, and with your extracurriculars, they always give you like, here's your first choice, here's your second choice, here's your third choice. Weightlifting was always my first choice. I was a little bit late to signing up that year. My third choice for extracurricular was theater. So it was total happenstance that I happened to get into this theater class. It was also total happenstance that I happened to audition for the musical that year, which was Little Shop of Horrors. I ended up being cast as Seymour, and for the first time in my life, it felt like there was something that was so exciting that I couldn't take myself away from it. I had to keep doing it as if I was compelled to. So that's how I initially got into it, where that was like 2013 when I was a junior.
Any advice to kids that might be a little trepidatious about this or a little shy, or did you feel that it helped you kind of come out of your shell?
For me, it definitely helped. Like it definitely felt like it helped me come out of my shell, because at that point, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with myself or with my time. Like, what am I going to go to school and study? It was great because all of a sudden there was this thing that allowed me to get all of this, maybe this brain energy that I had in the back of my head that I wasn't able to use in anything else. All of a sudden, I was able to use this creativity and this level of energy that had been going to waste ever since, or maybe that I left dormant ever since I was a child and, spent that time with all this musical theater and all these like wonderful like comedic performances that my sister would share with me, or even my dad would share with me. So as far as advice, I had an old director in college that would always tell us what you should aim for is too much. You have all this time to do just enough, but you always need to aim for too much. That way somebody can pull you back and maybe tell you like, okay, let's go down here a little bit and match this level. But you're never really going to know if it's enough until you go at least a little bit over. So within most things I do, I always try to sell it 120%. And that way, if somebody likes it, they like it. If somebody was like, maybe not as much, take it back a little bit. I'm still at that level that I would need to be at.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, that's great advice. You know what got me the job at the radio station is they're worried about me being a wild man, like the macho man. Oh, yeah, dig it. I'm a little crazy. All right. And I said, here's the thing. I can go to 11, which is a Spinal Tap reference, but I can take it down to a 4 when you need me to. Like when I'm talking to nonprofits about homelessness and all this great stuff. But if you hire a 4, you'll never get on my 11. And he said, that's exactly what got me the job. Yeah, that's the idea. So that's really great. And your ability to do all that and to know all that, and then to tap into that energy and use it, that's fantastic and very inspiring. And that's why I ask about all the experience that you guys have, because it's that experience in your stories that are really going to inspire more and more kids, more people, more even adults. Anyone can get involved over at Saguaro City Music Theater, and especially if you want to volunteer, perhaps donate. There's a page for all of that, because you should get involved. Because if you can't donate your time, donate your money. That should do, and that works vice versa. So now I want to give you some fun facts about the Wizard of Oz. Do you know any mysterious fun facts about the Wizard of Oz, like the fact that the Tin Man almost died? Yeah, that makeup was filled with metal. Back in the day, when they film movies, they're not worried about these actors. No, the Tin Face had aluminum powder in the makeup, and Buddy Ebsen was going to play the Tin Man, but he had to be hospitalized and nearly died after 9 days from inhaling all of the powder. Isn't that terrifying?
Yeah.
What makeup are you using for the Tin Man in this one? Is it just aluminum foil, so it's safe?
Exactly.
So also another makeup mishap was Margaret Hamilton, who played the Wicked Witch. She actually had copper-based makeup, and it took months to fade. We've done wrap this shoot. She's still green to the gills.
You're kidding. I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, I looked all these up because I had heard about the Tin Man one, and I did not know about that one. But also, she actually was burned by a faulty trap door. Did you hear about that one? You're nodding your head, Olive.
Yeah.
And had to miss 6 weeks of filming.
It's a long time when you're filming.
Right?
It's a long time ago.
That's insane to think about. So The Wizard of Oz has a lot of weird lore. There's that munchkin we see in the background, right? A lot of weird, interesting lore with the filming, the production, the thought, and the execution of it, because The Wizard of Oz is timeless and it's excellent. I think that the fake snow that they were running through, filled with toxins. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The Wizard of Oz.
Goodness.
It's a dangerous place, that Oz. That's right. It's not just the flying monkeys.
Sure
Apparently,
was.
it's asbestos as well. So you got to watch out for those. And the poppies, I believe. I'm talking about a lot of those visual sets, those big, bright colors. What is the set design going to look like? And what's been going into all of the sets? Because that's a big thing you guys are always so great at.
Well, we have to give the credit to our amazing scenic designer, Kyle Dixon, Kyle Dixon Designs. He's been working on this for quite a while now, and actually I believe we just got our scenic renderings that we're going to share on social media very soon. It's really exciting, especially like you mentioned before, Frank, about like the transformation between what we know, from the movie black and white Kansas farm, and then, sort of like all of a sudden there's this massive cyclone. And then we're magically in this incredibly beautiful, colorful place called Munchkinland. Kyle's worked really hard to kind of make it as vibrant as possible, to kind of like when you're thinking about the Emerald City and like the scale of it, it's such a, what I remember from the movie is just like such a grand sort of place. So trying to create a set that really lends itself to that as the story goes on and on and on, and we finally get to the Emerald City, that it really has like the scale and scope of like, the largest piece of scenery that we see in the show at that time. So it's really exciting when they finally get to this place they've been trying to go so much, to see the beautiful green Emerald City that Kyle designed. It's pretty exciting.
That's what Ray just snuck over here. Ray, the man, right? Thank you, Ray, for taking care of everything with Saguaro City Music Theater. But he just showed me a little photo of the background. That looks great. That's magic.
I agree. He's done a beautiful job.
That is something special.
And our local technical director, Sean Goebel, has been working really hard with his team to build this set since even like earlier this summer when we were working on Willy Wonka. They already started building like the house that's going to land in Munchkinland, like the house that lands on top of the Wicked Witch of the East.
Yeah.
So that's been sitting there waiting for the rest of the set to arrive for a few months now.
That's wild. Well, let's talk about some of the other stuff that you're going to do going into 2025. You don't got to spoil anything yet, but I might ask you. But I want to talk about some of the other things like the camps you have going on and how some folks, whether they're kids or kids of all ages, can really get involved with Saguaro City Music Theater. Because sometimes I get tricked and I do think this is a kid's thing. No, it's not. It was all adults in the $1 Million Quartet. You put on a lot of great shows here. And I want to have like almost a call to other actors in town to be aware that they might want to audition for some of your great big shows and get involved with Saguaro City.
Thanks, Frank. Yes, it's been exciting to see as we've gone on that like the turnout's been like a little bit larger each time we hold auditions for our main stage musicals. But anybody who's interested in auditioning for one of our shows, adults or children, we do have an audition sign up on our website that you can go in. So that way, whenever we have auditions coming, we'll actually send you an email to let you know. That's on our auditions page where you see how to get involved with Saguaro City. And then as far as our educational programs, so up till now, we've had 4 programs that span throughout the year. All of our programming is tuition-free and inclusive. So we welcome kids and teens of all abilities to come and sign up. We just actually introduced a new program that started yesterday in partnership with the University of Arizona School of Dance, where we had 16 students come together to learn from the students at the U of A who are learning how to teach dance to kids of all abilities.
Brilliant, as they
Super
should.
exciting.
I think that there should be, honestly, hundreds of programs like that. If you know 101 about something, you can teach a child how to do it. That's
Absolutely.
the idea, right? Mm-hmm. That's fantastic, because also it's going to give these kids a bit more inspiration of like, that's someone that's just 4 or 5 years older than me. That's not an old adult or someone like that, where it might seem like that 30 something, that's an eternity, right?
Exactly.
No, to get some advice from some
Yeah.
younger actors and people that were just there, just doing it from these college kids. That's great for those college kids too.
Agreed. Yeah, it's been really exciting. And one of the things that stuck out that you said earlier, like one of the things theater does is like kind of provide a community and friendships. And last night when we arrived at this class and we had some students that already like participated in programs with us before, the excitement of seeing each other, you know, at this program last night, it was honestly my favorite part of the whole night. It's one thing that I really, even if singing, dancing, or acting isn't your thing, I agree with Olive. Like at some point in your life, just try it, because you never know how it might affect you, and even just the social fun aspect of like being a part of a group, being part of a cast. That's just really, it can be life-changing.
Yeah, I mean, even just speaking from Raphael's experience, where he kind of got like, oh, I wound up in this, making the best of it, and then it struck a chord, which is amazing and really good to hear, because it just shows you that sometimes life can take you, you just got to let the tide take you where you're going to go, and then there you might find the destination you're looking for. So that's exciting to hear about, and I really appreciate the stories that you kids share a lot, because it's really the most inspirational part of talking to you. Is I want other folks to feel it. I want them to know that they've got to try to get out there and do more. Again, if you're good on stage, that means you're good in a job interview too. You're going to pick up these skills from learning how to express yourself, how to perform a bit, and how to be confident in situations that are the most nerve-wracking.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It really makes a difference, even just in a few weeks, over the span of a short program. A child who might have been so shy that they couldn't even say, hi, my name is so-and-so. By the end of it, they have like a solo and they're center stage and can't stop performing. And it's so cool to see that confidence grow.
Heck yeah. So let me just get some last words from our fine folks here that are going to be putting on the show. That is, again, December 20th through January 5th at the Berger Performing Arts Center at 1200 West Speedway. We're going to go to the Land of Oz. It's the Wizard of Oz, presented by Saguaro City Music Theater. You can get those tickets also discounted over at Bookman's, or go buy them right online at saguarocity.org/tickets. So, Olive, give me some last calls to action to anyone out there, whether it's just come to the show or just sign up for something or give something a try. I don't know, free form.
I don't even know the words to tell you to come to this show, but you better come to this show, because I can't tell you.
A veiled threat, that works too.
I can't tell you how excited I am for this, and I know if you're going to come, you'll be talking about it for days, and we haven't even started about rehearsals yet, but I have such high hopes for this. I'm so excited to do this, and just please come. It will be such a great show to see over the holidays.
That's the spirit. Don't make her beg, folks. Raphael, let's go. Give me some final thoughts.
There is always going to be eager performers in town, artists of all calibers, musicians, actors, designers, and we need to support them. The arts are very important. So if you have any time whatsoever, this is a perfect holiday situation, like Olive was saying. Come out, see it, support the people in your town, your family, your friends, and just everybody, because this is a very crucial part to Tucson's identity. Is it's performing arts, it's arts in general. You'll come in to see something, and you might be extremely surprised by what you get. You might think like, oh, it's like community theater, whatever. I am always endlessly floored by the people that I see in town, the performers that I get to interact with, and the performers I get to see on stage. You will be pleasantly surprised by the massive talent in Tucson and the massive talent of the wonderful Olive.
Oh, there you go. Compliments left and right. That's what you like to hear. Because today, we made friends with Deena Digicento, managing director as well as choreographer over at Saguaro City. We also made friends with Olive playing Dorothy and Raphael playing the Cowardly Lion at Saguaro City Music Theater, using the art of musical theater to promote diverse artistic opportunities and community involvement. Thank you all for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Frank. We had a blast.
Thanks, Frank.
This was Lifestyle Tucson. Bing bong bing, time for a recap. Can you tell how much I love talking with Saguaro City Music Theater? They are one of my favorite organizations and people in town. Dean is amazing, and I really enjoy talking to them about how much they're helping kids, but also just kids of all ages. You hear there's a lot of adults involved with Saguaro City Music Theater, and if you're one of these adults that want to get involved with Saguaro City, well, you can. Just go head over to saguarocity.org to go look up all of the information about getting involved, volunteering, or joining the cast of some of their upcoming performances. And as Deena said, if you join the newsletter and all of that, you'll get alerts when they're having casting. So if you know an actor, an actress, someone in your life that wants to get a little more involved with stage production, even behind the scenes stuff, let them know about Saguaro City Music Theater and go sign up for their newsletter and get involved in what's going on. So now let's really talk again about The Wizard of Oz real quick, because you can hear how important it was to me to talk about this. That was my first play in 8th grade. Picked on for wanting to finally do it, and I said enough to those bullies that made fun of me. And then those bullies, after I did it, congratulated me. And I said, "Why are you picking on me so much?" And they said, "Well, it's just the way it is." But I could never do that. And it was pretty fascinating. But that's what growing up is. And as the shyest kid in school, who one day wanted to grow up to be on the radio, getting involved with the play really helped me make a lot of my friends. It really, really did. So I really implore you to get your kids involved. Get your shy kids involved. Get your wallflowers involved, but also get your outgoing kids involved so that they know that they can do this. And even if you got a sports nut, get them on stage. Get her on stage, because you never know. All of these things are going to help, even in their athletics. Being able to perform in front of a crowd on the moment, on the night, that's the trick. That means they're going to hit that free throw on the foul line, the same as they're going to hit that high note on the stage. So get all your kids involved with Saguaro City Music Theater, and one of the best ways to do it is by bringing them to go see The Wizard of Oz at the Berger Performing Arts Center at 1200 West Speedway. I had the privilege of a little sneak peek when I was hosting the Town of Oro Valley's Festival of the Arts just last weekend, and I got to watch as Olive sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I cried. It made me remember being young. It was beautiful. Deena cried as well. You could see it in the crowd and you could feel it from the stage. Olive really took everybody on an emotional ride just in the little bit of the performance that we did get to see. And that Cowardly Lion, he really took advantage of things as well on that stage and put on quite the show for the little bit that we did get to see last weekend. So I implore you to go see The Wizard of Oz, which is running from December 20th through January 5th. So there's plenty of holiday time to go take in this show. Take your kids, take your grandkids, take your grandparents, but take everybody down to Saguaro City Music Theater for The Wizard of Oz. Because I want to thank our new friends at Saguaro City Music Theater for joining me today. You've been listening to Lifestyle Tucson. If you're a nonprofit that would like to be on the show, email lifestyletucson@gmail.com. For more information about this program or to listen to something you may have missed, go to the Sunday Mornings page on klpx.com, kfma.com, mixfm.com, or espntucson.com. You can also subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever fine podcasts are off to see The Wizard. Follow on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Lifestyle Tucson, because I'm your BFF, your best Frank forever, Frank Powers, and toot toot Tucson, I love you the most.